Alright, today we're going to be trying out Aoi. I think that's how you pronounce it. But anyway, I tried using her a lot when I first played this game way back in the day when it first came out. Because she reminded me of Asuka, who I always tried to use in Tekken. Wasn't really able to bring out her full potential back then. Probably never have. I would need a lot more time with her for that, but I do kind of like her, not gonna lie. I wish I could pull off her counters a bit better, but kind of hard to pull off counters when the CPU input reads you all the time anyway. But sometimes you can get off a cheeky one. I'm sure maybe I could if I played people. But yeah, she's got a couple of nice little combos, some mix-ups. She can cancel a lot of her moves to try to fake out the opponent, which will never work on the CPU, like I said, because they input read, but I've seen, people online do it, and in tournaments and stuff, so she can be pretty tricky. I really wish I knew what he was saying right there. Not sure if I like that face he's making at me. There we go. Make short work of him. But yeah, I do like her range of moves, which is why I tried to, I guess, make her my main back in the day. The problem is I always, of course, like I said, back when I first started playing this game, I had no idea how Virtua Fighter worked, so definitely could not bring out the full potential of a character like this. I feel like she could potentially be my main. Hard to say. It's because she's got such big competition. Like at this point, I feel like the competition of who could potentially be my main is very high. There's only a few characters who I know will not be my main. And we still got a lot of characters to go.
Round two. Ready, go!
Like, I'm pretty sure Kage's not going to be my main. He's just too much of a complicated character, but who knows? I've never really tried. And I've always liked ninja characters in games, but usually in fighting games particularly, they're way too hard and tricky and technical to use for me. But who knows? You won't never know until you try. Eileen's another one of those characters who I tried to make my main back in the day. Because she was pretty tricky and it was fun to pull those things off, but I quickly found out that the CPU input reads a bit too much for her to really get that going. But I still put a lot of time into her and was pretty good with her back in the day. But I haven't touched her since. I think I may try her when the Revo update comes out, because I heard she was made a bit better in that version. I'm not saying that this version's terrible, but she was considered to be one of the weaker characters. Though you see some people in competitive who use her, and you would rethink that assumption pretty quickly. Because some people are really good with her. If they can pull off all the different tricks that she has, she becomes pretty hard to deal with sometimes. But of course, if you do know what she does, you can easily counter her. That's the thing with tricky characters like that. When their tricks don't work, they got nothing else, unfortunately. Because that's the other thing. I was watching competitive, and I was watching someone use Eileen. The person who they were fighting against, well, the tricks were working on them, in the first few rounds. Afterward, the opponent just swept her, easily, because they caught on to all her tricks. And that's when, you kind of realize, yeah, that only works for so long. You can get a cheeky match or a few rounds off of somebody like that, but if they know how to fight against the character, that just never works anymore. And then Eileen just doesn't have a ton after that. I'm spending more time talking about Eileen than Aoi here. I'm sorry. But I don't really have a ton to say about Aoi. She's decently fast, got some mix-ups. She also has chain grabs, which I can never do. She has some stances and stuff, and like I said, she has those counters that I can never do, because the CPU won't fall for them, but, But I do find her fun. It's a character that I do want to get better with, is basically what I'm saying. It's one of those characters, like, I don't know if I could be incredibly good with her, but, you know, I want to see if I could.
Excellent. Round 2. Ready, go.
But there's a lot of characters I want to get good with. Look at that, that's almost half the life gone in that one combo. It's so funny because Virtua Fighter doesn't have these long combos that take like 20 seconds to do, like in Tekken or something like that, and it still does a ton of damage. Like that combo I pulled off that was half life was only like a few seconds and a few strings long, but it did a lot of damage. It's a fast-paced game.
Ready, go.
And what's funny is you can even set it to where your health is even lower than usual if you want to make the matches even faster. You can also make your life bar longer if you want to make the matches a bit longer. So it's not by a ton. The standard is 220, the lowest is 200, so that's only 20 less, and the highest is 260, so it's only 40 above. So it's not a ton,
Round 2.
but it is nice that you have the option to do that. You can even be a little bit of a cheeky cheater and make your health up to 260, make your opponent 200. If you really wanted to. Give yourself a little bit of an advantage there. Which is funny, I don't know any other fighting game that lets you do that. At least not in the arcade mode. There's sometimes some versus mode where you can set handicaps, but not in the arcade mode. You usually just have difficulty settings. I can never tech throws.
Round 3. Ready, go.
I don't know if you can hear that. There's a bird right outside my window who's chirping. He's pretty loud. But, you know, I don't blame him for chirping. It's a nice sunny day. Alright, so that's the arcade mode beaten. All I got left is this bonus stage,
Round 1. Ready, go.
which I swear is like a 50-50 of whether or not Dural wants to be nice to me. Sometimes she's an impenetrable wall, other times she gets hit by everything. It's really weird. I've had so many matches with them where they're just input reading the heck out of me and just destroys me, then other times where they just go dumb and will let me hit them with everything. It's so weird. This is one of the weirdest final bosses I think I've seen in fighting games, and that it's usually very cheap and stuff, won't let you do anything, and then other times it just goes it just goes dumb. I don't know, it's really weird.
Knockout.
But today they decided to be an impenetrable wall and just, you know, input read the heck out of me. But whatever. Anyway, yeah, I think Aoi's very fun. Potential main, along with a lot of other characters, so we'll have to wait and see. But thank you all so much for watching, I'll see you next time.